Did you know that after the age of 30, you lose up to 5% of your muscle mass every single decade, even if you're active? Now, here's what's even scarier. According to a 2022 study published in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle, some people begin experiencing functional muscle loss as early as age 40 without even realizing it. But what if I told you that it's not just about getting older or not going to the gym often enough? What if one small, innocent looking nighttime snack you've been eating, maybe even thinking it's healthy, is silently sabotaging your strength, your balance, and your ability to stay independent as you age? Muscle loss, or what scientists call sarcopenia, isn't just about looking less toned. It's directly tied to your risk of falling, getting injured, developing insulin resistance, and even shortening your lifespan. Most people think it's all about lifting weights and getting protein during the day. But what you do at night matters just as much, maybe even more. Why? Because your body doesn't stop working when you sleep. That's actually when most of the repair and regeneration happens. But if your blood sugar is constantly spiking from certain foods before bed, or your body is flooded with inflammatory compounds while you rest, your muscle cells can't heal or grow properly. And over time, that adds up to serious loss of strength. The worst part: most people have no clue that their favorite evening snacks are playing this dangerous game. In this video, we're going to count down the 7 worst nighttime snacks that could be quietly stealing your muscle strength night after night. Some of these might seem harmless or even marketed as health foods, but science tells a very different story. And when we finally get to snack number 1, you're going to realize how one bite of this so-called treat could be costing you not just your muscle, but your health, mobility, and independence. So grab a seat and stay with me. Trust me, you do not want to miss number 1. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like and a share if you care about protecting your strength and vitality as you age. Let's jump in. Number 7. Ice cream. Let's kick things off with one of the most comforting and beloved nighttime snacks around: ice cream. There's no denying it's delicious, and after a long day, it might feel like a reward. But the problem is what that little bowl is actually doing inside your body while you sleep. First, most ice creams are loaded with refined sugar and saturated fat. When you eat sugar right before bed, especially in large amounts, it sends your blood sugar levels on a roller coaster. Your body responds by releasing insulin, and during the night, that can interfere with growth hormone production. Why does that matter? Because growth hormone is crucial for muscle repair and regeneration while you sleep. If that process is disrupted, your muscles don't get a chance to recover from the day, which means you wake up weaker, day after day, week after week. Another issue with ice cream is its dairy content, especially if it's not from high-quality sources. Many commercial brands use low-grade milk with additives, preservatives, and hormones that can increase inflammation in the body. And chronic low-grade inflammation is a major factor in muscle breakdown. According to a study published in the journal Nutrients in 2019, people with higher markers of inflammation were more likely to experience accelerated muscle loss over time, even when they exercised. Now imagine your body trying to repair itself overnight, but instead of healing, it's busy fighting off inflammation and stabilizing blood sugar swings. That's what regular nighttime ice cream indulgence can do. Over time, it chips away at your strength, your muscle tone, and your ability to stay active. Number 6. Microwave popcorn. You might think popcorn is a light and harmless snack. And yes, plain air-popped popcorn without butter or salt is actually not a bad option. But the kind we're talking about here is the buttery, bagged microwave popcorn that most people reach for when they settle in to binge a show before bed. What makes this type of popcorn so dangerous to your muscles isn't just the calories, it's the chemicals. Microwave popcorn bags are often lined with perfluorooctanoic acid, or PFOA, a chemical used in Teflon that has been linked to hormone disruption. In a 2020 review published in Environmental Health Perspectives, researchers found that long-term exposure to PFOAs and related compounds could interfere with testosterone production. And that's bad news for muscle, especially in men, but also in women. Testosterone isn't just about libido. It's one of the key hormones that helps build and preserve lean muscle tissue. When levels drop due to chemical interference, your muscles weaken over time, even if you're eating enough protein. On top of that, most flavored microwave popcorn contains artificial trans fats or hydrogenated oils to give it that buttery flavor and long shelf life. These fats have been banned in many countries, but still sneak their way into some snacks. Trans fats are notorious for increasing inflammation and reducing your cell's ability to absorb nutrients properly, including the amino acids needed to build muscle. What's worse is that these fats don't just affect your body short term. They can damage your mitochondria, the energy powerhouses inside your muscle cells. And without healthy mitochondria, your muscles can't perform or recover properly. If you're eating this type of popcorn a few nights a week while thinking you're making a smart, low-calorie choice, you might be unknowingly damaging the very tissues that keep you strong, stable, and mobile. And once that decline starts, it's hard to stop unless you drastically change your habits. Number 5. Instant noodles. Now here's a big one that especially affects younger adults who stay up late: instant noodles. They're cheap, quick, and comforting, but their effect on your muscle strength is quietly destructive. Let's break this down. Instant noodles are extremely high in refined carbs and sodium, and they're cooked in or come with seasoning that contains trans fats, MSG, and artificial additives. When you eat refined carbs right before bed, your insulin spikes hard and then crashes. That crash in the middle of the night interferes with deep sleep, the kind of sleep your body needs to produce growth hormone and testosterone, two of the most important hormones for maintaining muscle strength. But it gets worse. A study from the Korean Journal of Nutrition found that people who regularly ate instant noodles at night had significantly higher levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of systemic inflammation. And as we've already established, inflammation is one of the silent killers of muscle. Even if you go to the gym the next day and think you're balancing things out, your nighttime inflammation is still blocking muscle recovery. Then there's the issue of sodium. One package of instant noodles can have up to 1,700 milligrams of sodium. That's almost your entire daily limit in just one bowl. High sodium intake throws off your electrolyte balance, which directly affects your muscles' ability to contract and recover. Have you ever woken up feeling weak or sore, even though you didn't work out hard the day before? That could be sodium-induced muscle dehydration. And let's not forget, most of the meat flavor in these noodles doesn't contain any real protein. So not only are you getting carbs without balance, but you're also tricking your brain into thinking you've eaten something nourishing, when in reality, it's just a bowl of empty stress for your body. If you're finding this information helpful or eye-opening so far, take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us reach more people who need to hear this. And if you're thinking of someone who might be snacking on one of these at night, share this video with them. It might just save their strength before it's too late. Number 4. Packaged granola bars. Here's one that shocks a lot of people: granola bars. They sound healthy, right? Some even come labeled with high fiber or protein packed on the front. But most store-bought granola bars are loaded with sugar, syrup, or even honey in such high concentrations that your body reacts just like it would to candy. When you eat that right before bed, your insulin levels spike sharply, which again interferes with overnight hormone production. This is important because when you sleep, your body should ideally be in a fasted state to optimize recovery. But sugary snacks shift your body into storage mode instead of repair mode. Also, many granola bars are made with vegetable oils like soybean or canola oil, which are high in omega-6 fatty acids. And while omega-6s are not bad in themselves, the modern Western diet contains way too much of them compared to omega-3s. This imbalance contributes to systemic inflammation, which again damages muscle tissue and recovery. One study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that participants with higher omega-6 to omega-3 ratios had more signs of muscle weakness and fatigue over time, especially in older adults. Then there's the issue of preservatives. Many bars use chemical preservatives to keep them shelf-stable for months, and those can disrupt your gut microbiome. Why does gut health matter for muscle? Because your gut bacteria help break down and absorb amino acids, the building blocks of muscle. If your gut is inflamed or imbalanced due to frequent intake of processed foods, Even a high-protein diet won't give your muscles what they need. It's like putting fuel into a broken engine. Most of it won't be used effectively. So even though granola bars might seem like a clean and wholesome bedtime snack, especially if you're trying to avoid heavier meals, the hidden sugar, oils, and additives can chip away at your strength little by little every single night. Number 3, flavored yogurt. This one often shocks people who've been trying to eat healthier. Flavored yogurt, especially the low-fat kind marketed as a light snack, is a common go-to for people trying to manage their weight or get some protein in. But here's what you may not realize. Most flavored yogurts are packed with added sugars, sometimes even more than ice cream. And sugar, as we've seen repeatedly, is one of the biggest culprits when it comes to sabotaging your muscle regeneration while you sleep. The sugar triggers a spike in insulin, followed by a drop in blood sugar levels, which interferes with the production of growth hormone. That alone would be bad enough, but the problems don't stop there. Many low-fat yogurts also contain carrageenan, artificial thickeners, and food dyes, all of which can irritate your gut lining and lead to inflammation. Even if you don't feel digestive discomfort, this low-level gut irritation can disrupt how your body absorbs key nutrients like calcium, magnesium, and essential amino acids, all of which are vital for muscle function and recovery. Without proper absorption, you could be eating the right nutrients and still not getting the benefit. And then there's the issue with protein quality. Greek yogurt can be a great source of protein if it's plain and unsweetened, but flavored yogurts often replace the protein with fillers and creaminess agents, leaving you with far less muscle-supporting nutrition than you think. One 2021 study from the British Journal of Nutrition found that individuals who regularly consumed high-sugar, low-fat dairy had a significantly lower lean muscle mass index compared to those who chose whole-fat, plain versions. So, if you're reaching for that fruity yogurt cup at night thinking it's doing your body good, it might actually be doing the opposite. It's another silent saboteur of your strength. Number 2, crackers and cheese. Now let's talk about a classic comfort food that many people turn to when they want a balanced nighttime snack: crackers and cheese. It sounds like a smart choice. You've got carbs and fat, and maybe even some protein from the cheese. But this combination is more problematic than it seems, especially at night. The crackers, especially the processed shelf-stable kind, are usually made from refined white flour, which rapidly breaks down into sugar in your bloodstream. That sugar spike sets off the same cascade of insulin disruption we've been talking about, which messes with your body's ability to produce muscle-regenerating hormones during deep sleep. Cheese on its own isn't necessarily bad, but most people overestimate the quality of cheese they're eating. Many of the pre-sliced, pre-packaged varieties contain artificial colors, preservatives, and emulsifiers. These ingredients don't just preserve shelf life, they also introduce inflammatory compounds into your system. A 2020 study in the journal Frontiers in Nutrition linked processed dairy fats and additives to increased levels of tumor necrosis factor alpha, TNFA, a potent inflammatory marker known to accelerate muscle catabolism, the breakdown of muscle tissue. Plus, this snack doesn't really help you build or maintain muscle. It's high in sodium, low in fiber, and offers little in terms of nutrient density. You may feel satisfied for a little while, but while you sleep, your body is battling inflammation, not rebuilding strength. The high salt content also affects your body's ability to stay hydrated overnight, which is critical because muscles are over 70% water. When they don't have the hydration they need, they become stiff, slow to recover, and prone to micro tears. So while crackers and cheese might feel like a comforting bedtime ritual, it's actually one of the sneakiest strength stealers on this list. Especially if it's your go-to snack, night after night, the damage can really add up. Number 1, protein bars. Here we are. The most shocking, most misleading, and potentially most damaging nighttime snack for your muscles: protein bars. I know, it sounds crazy. They're called protein bars. They're made to build muscle, right? They're in the gym aisle. They're marketed to athletes and fitness junkies, but that's exactly why they're so dangerous, because they give you a false sense of security while quietly working against your body's overnight recovery process. Most commercial protein bars are highly processed. They're essentially glorified candy bars with a little protein powder thrown in. Many contain sugar alcohols, like maltitol or erythritol, which can cause bloating and gut irritation. They also usually include soy protein isolate or whey concentrate, two cheap sources of protein that can cause inflammation in sensitive individuals. A study from the International Journal of Sports Nutrition in 2022 found that individuals consuming isolated forms of protein from bars had higher markers of inflammation and lower muscle protein synthesis compared to those eating whole food sources like eggs or yogurt. Now, let's get into the deeper science. Your body has a circadian rhythm, not just for sleep, but also for digestion. At night, your digestive system slows down. So when you consume dense, heavily processed food with added synthetic vitamins, stabilizers, and emulsifiers, your gut has a harder time breaking it all down. That means your body spends energy processing food instead of repairing muscle. Worse still, many protein bars contain refined oils and hydrogenated fats to maintain texture, which adds to your inflammatory load. And let's not ignore the high sugar content, even in bars labeled low sugar, because they often use high glycemic carbs that spike insulin anyway. In other words, these bars are masquerading as helpful, but they're actually disrupting your sleep, triggering inflammation, and depriving your muscles of the calm, clean internal environment they need to rebuild. If you're relying on these for a quick fix before bed, or even as a post-workout late snack, you could be unknowingly fast-tracking your muscle decline. It's one of the biggest traps in the health world. And now you know better. So, there you have it. 7 seemingly innocent nighttime snacks, each with the potential to quietly and consistently drain your muscle strength over time. From ice cream to granola bars, from popcorn to protein bars, the common thread running through all of them is inflammation, blood sugar disruption, and poor nutrient absorption during the hours when your body should be repairing, growing, and getting stronger. The truth is, no matter how many squats or push-ups you do during the day, if your nightly routine includes one of these silent saboteurs, you're fighting an uphill battle, and one that most people don't even realize they're losing. But here's the good news. Now that you know the science behind these foods, you can make smarter choices. Instead of reaching for something sweet, processed, or heavy, go for snacks that are whole, nutrient-dense, and easy on your digestion. A small handful of unsalted almonds, a boiled egg, or a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt with cinnamon can actually support your recovery, not sabotage it. The key is to keep your blood sugar stable, inflammation low, and your body in a state that supports healing and strength. If you've been eating any of these 7 snacks before bed, don't beat yourself up. Almost all of us have been there. The food industry is very good at hiding the truth behind slick marketing. But you're ahead now. You're armed with the facts, and that puts you in control of your long-term health, strength, and energy. And if you found this video helpful, please help us spread the word. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone you care about, especially someone who might be trying to stay fit, but doesn't realize they're being sabotaged by what's in their pantry. It could make all the difference. You deserve to stay strong. You deserve to feel capable, confident, and independent at every stage of life. But it all starts with small choices. And now you know one of the biggest ones you can make happens not in the gym, but in your kitchen before you sleep. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 7 nighttime snacks surprised you the most, or do you have your own bedtime habit you've changed to protect your muscle strength? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.